Well, the list keeps growing tonight of countries expelling Russian diplomats over the poisoning of a former Kremlin spy in England.
You know, I made the whole "you guys have nothing but hot bitches and snow and oil" argument in order to give you a fucking out. To where you can go, yeah, just leave us alone. And it could all be just you could all just blow over. And it ain't gotta be a thing. But you just gotta be the USSR, don't you? You just gotta reunify the empire some fucking how, even though it ain't gonna happen.
Australia, Belgium, Ireland, and Moldova made the moves today. So did the NATO alliance. We're getting more reaction tonight here at home as well. Correspondent Kevin Cork is at the White House with the latest.
Take it away, Big Kev.
We're certainly applying pressure.
Hours after announcing the expulsion of dozens of Russian diplomats following the dangerous nerve agent attack on a Russian foreign agent on British soil.
See, now we have a reason to be pissed at you. Now we have a reason to go, those motherfuckers might be a problem. There was no reason to think you motherfuckers were going to be a problem. Now there is. What are you doing?
President Trump spoke by telephone with several international leaders, notably Canada's Trudeau, France's Macron, and Germany's Merkel, in an expression of solidarity for their responses, which saw more than 100 Russians expelled from countries across the globe.
God damn. What I wouldn't give to be a fly on the wall when those conversations was shit. That had to be interesting.
We're certainly encouraging and working with our allies and partners also to do so. And I think you've seen an unprecedented number of countries step up and join the United States in that effort.
Defense Secretary Jim Mattis today told reporters that the poisoning amounted to, quote, an attempted murder by the Russian government, saying Russia has chosen to be a strategic competitor, even to the point of reckless activity.
No shit. And that's all it is. They want to be a strategic competitor. They want to compete. They want to be seen as a big country. They want to be at the head of all tables. And it ain't gonna fucking happen. Because all you have is hot bitches, oil, and snow.
NATO leaders called yesterday's expulsions the clearest sign yet that the Russians' plan to sow discord in the West simply won't work.
Sends a very clear message to Russia that it has costs. And I actually think that Russia has underestimated the unity of NATO allies.
Well, you know, strife of this sort tends to bring people together. I'm sure 5 seconds after this is all over, everybody will be back at their throats again, so...
The Kremlin warned it would act in reciprocal fashion in response to what its foreign minister called a Washington-coordinated effort meant to bully his country.
Wasn't it? It was Great Britain that did it first, right? Because I saw Theresa May talking about it. I wanted to do this video weeks ago. But I wanted to wait for the U.S. to make their move. For it to actually, you know, really matter. So I waited for that. And then it happened very soon after Great Britain made their first move. Because it happened in Great Britain. They knew about it first. They talked about it first. They were the first ones to break the story. They expelled their diplomats first. And then other people fell in line when they found out about the shit. So how the fuck is this a U.S. coordinated effort to somehow spearhead this whole thing when they didn't fucking first do it? And why the fuck would we give a shit about you at all? I mean, we do for whatever reason, but honestly, when it comes down to it, why the fuck would we? And all the president has been saying since before he was elected is, I'd like to get along with Russia. Why would we not want to get along with Russia? They're another large country that has nukes. We should get along with Russia. They also got hot bitches and oil. And we all know how much the president loves hot bitches. So, why don't we want to get along with Russia? Apparently, because they're fucking assholes.
When one or two diplomats are asked to leave this or that country, whispering apologies to our ears, we know for sure that this is a result of colossal pressure and colossal blackmail, which are used by Washington as the main instrument in the international scene.
First of all, the whole fucking asking diplomats to leave while whispering apologies in our ear and thing, first of all, you've used that line before. The last time y'all got your fucking diplomats expelled because of some dumb shit you did, when that happened before, you said, oh yeah, they're whispering apologies in our ear. Of course we are. We're saying we are so sorry that you fucking idiots don't understand how the world works. You're a small country now. You have nukes that were left over from when you were big. You have to face the fact that that is the only thing that makes you a big country. Your size and the fact that you have a bunch of nukes. That's it. Beyond that, you have hot bitches, oil, and snow. You are not a major player in the world. Except that you have nukes. But if you start firing off nukes, it's going to go real bad for everybody real quick. And I'm sorry, you're not worth it. And the world knows that. And we will deal with you as something that is not worth the effort. Because that is what needs to happen for world peace. You should tread very carefully. Because you cannot fight us off with snow. You might be able to do it with hot bitches, though.
While his surrogates have spoken in his stead, the president himself has remained silent for hours on the decision to expel the Russians and to close a consular facility near Seattle, passing on his penchant for tweeting on Russia, its threatened response, even the Stormy Daniels saga.
Yeah, I fucking knew it. Man tweets a lot, and y'all get pissed. The man doesn't tweet, and you go, why isn't he tweeting? Probably because he just doesn't want to deal with the added fucking stress. Maybe. You think maybe he's sitting around going, you know, usually it's pretty fun. I get a kick out of it. I love seeing the responses to me. But I just can't be fucked to deal with it right now. So I'm just not going to bother. I don't give a shit how it looks. I just can't take it anymore. You think maybe that could be it?
This, while the White House counsel's office is under increasing pressure to produce documents related to the review of senior advisor Jared Kushner's compliance with ethics laws. Two Democrats on the House Oversight Committee are looking into Kushner's meetings with executives from two companies that later loaned millions to his family's business.
Brett, all this is happening as the Stormy Daniels saga continues. The very latest twist, her camp is now suing the president's private attorney, Michael Cohen, claiming he has defamed her.
I fucking love the way he said defamed her. I love the way that he claiming that he has defamed her, like almost as if he's trying not to laugh. Let's watch that one more time.
Claiming he has defamed her.
Dude, I swear to God, it looks as if he's trying to hide a smile.
Brett?
Kevin Cork, live at the White House. Kevin, thank you.
Fuck yeah, man. Dude. There's, like, man, little kids with cancer. And I don't feel as bad for them as I do for Donald Trump right now. Like, obviously that's not entirely true. The man's dealing with it just fine, I think. But, oh my God. Can you even imagine? He's the president of the United States, right? He's the leader of the free world. And that, in and of itself, comes with monumental responsibility. He literally makes daily decisions that affect the lives of millions of people, billions of people. And that in and of itself requires a level of coping ability that I can't even fathom. And I have infinite patience. But oh my God, he's got... This is how I imagine his day goes. He wakes up, and while he's getting dressed for work, he probably hears about Stormy Daniels from his fucking wife. Right? And then he goes to work, wherein the media does nothing but attack every single move that he makes. And every single move that he makes can affect the lives of billions of people. And he has to make decisions on extraordinarily weighty issues. And he has to decide on things that his decisions could possibly lead to thermonuclear war. Like, the stress of that must be unimaginable. He's got to talk to people from different countries that disagree with him fundamentally on everything. He's got to deal with everybody around him in one way or another talking shit about him. All the people in the office are like, oh my God, this is the most toxic environment I've ever worked in. Dude, there's so much shit going on at him at work. And then he probably makes what must seem to him to be the extraordinarily short walk from the West Wing to the East Wing, or from the East Wing to the West Wing, whatever the fuck it is, right? From the wing where the president works to the wing where the president lives. I imagine that walk is extraordinarily short to him. I wonder how much time he legitimately takes to make that walk. I really wonder, especially now. I wonder if he's like, you know what, I'm just going to walk around the grounds for a bit before I go home. Because I imagine as soon as he walks in the door, I imagine there's Melania, just looking gorgeous. How was your day, honey? It was rough, sweetie. Oh, that's too bad. And she probably takes his coat off for him. Tells him, no, you sit down. Turns on a game form or something cool, you know. A nice edited version of Bloodsport with none of that stupid storyline, just the cool fucking fighting parts. And she probably gives him a nice foot massage. Feeds him a good home-cooked dinner. Probably reads him a bedtime story before bed, right? Yeah, I don't think that's fucking happening. I think as soon as he hits the door, she's already screaming through it at him. Where the fuck is he? How the fuck come he hasn't walked through the door yet? It's been at least a half an hour since fucking workday ended. I know he's supposed to be here at this time. We're supposed to have dinner. Where is he? Oh, I imagine he's probably with Stormy fucking Daniels. That's probably what he hears before he even opens the door. And then he opens the door to, oh, there you are. Dude. And then he just probably gets his fucking ass reamed until finally he can go to bed. And then he probably just has nothing but fucking nightmares. And then he wakes up to, so what do you think Stormy Daniels gonna do today? Dude. I can't even imagine how difficult. I feel for that man. Like, honestly, at this point, I don't want to sound like I'm virtue signaling here, but honestly, at this point, I seriously, I mean, I got to think about the greater cause. You got to think of the greater good. You have to think about the many and not the few. But honestly, I hope he doesn't get reelected, man. And honestly, at this point, I would be surprised if he even ran. He might be, I don't know if he actually would be, but he might be the first president in history to be like, I ain't fucking gonna bother to run again, because fuck that shit. It ain't worth it. You wonder why Trey Gowdy's leaving fucking, man. How are we honestly going to have a good person that has good ideas, even fucking... Who would even want to run to go through that? Looking at Donald Trump right now, and what's going on with him. Who wants to run? What fucking conservative is going to want to fucking even bother to run? That's worth a good goddamn. All we're going to get from here on, as our candidates, are going to be people who weren't smart enough not to fucking run. We're losing, man. We're losing. We've got the first person to officially be arrested and convicted of a thought crime. Big ups to Count Dankula. God damn, man. And Canada has said fuck freedom of speech. We are now controlling your language. You know, you can't, oftentimes you can't help but feel the just the helplessness of it. Like, honestly, what's getting me through is like the people I work with. And dude I met tonight, fucking man, people I work with, some of them have taken an interest in the channel. And when I talk to them about, you know, what I'm doing, it's a very positive response. They're like, oh, you know, like they, you know, generally it's like-mindedness. And even with like women that I work with, because I had occasion to be trained for a week by a woman, by a couple women actually. And, you know, I kind of talked politics with one of them. And even she was like, yeah, I don't understand where all this is coming from. I don't get it. And I really wish that these women would stop talking for me. And, you know, and that's very cool. And I met this dude tonight. I went to my buddy's bar. And I just started talking to this guy. And we started talking politics and stuff like that. And, man, he was just... It was interesting to hear him talk because I didn't hear rhetoric. You know what I mean? He wasn't parroting Fox. He was talking from the heart. He was fucking serious about what he had to say, and he had serious thoughts on it. You know what I mean? And he had some deep points of view that I thought were very cool. And yeah, it was cool to fucking sit there and talk to him. And you know, it kind of reaffirms you that, like, you hope the most of it is all just in the sound bites. You know what I mean? That it's the people on TV saying this ridiculous shit that are the fucking ones that really buy into it, and maybe there's a couple other people here and there, maybe a couple of full cities, you know, but you just gotta hope that can't possibly be enough to really be damaging. But it doesn't matter, man. They're in your kids' heads. We're seeing it in college students. There's radical, ideological fucking thing. And we're starting to see it in high school kids now. And we're starting to hear about teachers employing it on grade school kids. I mean, when I was doing the fucking video about the white supremacist teacher who apparently has some very fucking nasty fucking shit on it. So, I don't know, whatever you say, whatever you want to say. I've said my piece, and I think it reflects whether or not she actually is a white supremacist or not. Like, I don't really think knowing that she is a white supremacist really changes my opinion as I delivered it in that video. I don't really care. Everybody has their biases. Everybody has their political views. Everybody has all that shit. But if you're talking about it in the class, the kids, you know, no, you should be fired for that. And if she was doing that, and you know, I find it difficult to believe that she wasn't. I admit that it's a leap of faith to hope for her to actually be somebody that you can look to as an example and say, see, she's got really fucked up political views, but she ain't pushing them on the kids. You know, like, you kind of hope for that, but it's one of those Logan Paul hopes. I don't really think that's going to happen. But I don't know, man. It's getting into it pretty fucking deep now. But when I was making that video, I found that clip. I just pulled a whole bunch of random. I literally Googled liberal teachers, or no, leftist teachers. I just searched YouTube leftist teachers, and I just grabbed a whole bunch of random clips, and I just edited the front part of it. And the one that really fucking shocked me was the grade school kid that was like, my teachers were calling me a Nazi and a white supremacist, and I'm like, grade school kids, like 8, 9, 10-year-olds. And it's like, don't you realize that you're preparing them to, in the future, become white supremacists? Because you're gonna constantly shit on these kids, and it's going to radicalize them. It's gonna make them go, yeah, well, you know what, fuck you then, fine. I will be a white supremacist. Because clearly they're the only people that will accept me. It's the reason the Black Panther movement started. It's the I love how these people say they want to stomp out inequity. They want to make everything equal. But it's like their version of making everything equal is, we were all oppressed, so now it's your turn. And I don't get that. It's the two wrongs do actually make a right philosophy. I don't understand how that happens. But it's like, man, it feels like we're losing. It feels like it's inevitable. It feels like it's inevitable. And I've always said this, and we'll circle back into Russia. All great empires fall for some reason or another. And usually it's bad management by the government. And here we are again. And we're wondering how it is that governments get so badly managed that that empires fall. And this is how it happens, and it happens really quick. And I imagine it had to happen quick. Like I've said many times, I don't understand where all this came from. It happened so fast, and it happened really fast. 3-4 years, maybe 5. And it has kicked into such high gear. Last year we had open battles in the street. People are dying over this. People are getting shot over this. When was it that Milo was speaking at Berkeley? Or wherever it was, whatever campus it was, and some guy got shot. Like, what? What the fuck is going on? And it's all over ideologies. And it's all because People are refusing to talk to each other. People are refusing to communicate their differences. People are refusing to accept reality in many situations. Circling back to Russia again, man. Hot bitches, oil, and snow, and a bunch of nukes that were left over from fucking the war. That's what you guys got. You have nothing else. And you want to be a major player, and that's all fine and well and good, but you got to get there. You can't just go, well, we used to be there. So give it to us. It's feminism. There's not enough women CEOs. Just give it to us. Dude, it isn't going to work. And the funniest thing is that's what it is. We used to be huge. And we want to keep being huge. So just let us be huge. Just accept it. We want you to use our pronouns. And if you don't use our pronouns, we're going to have you arrested. Just accept it. We're going to define for you your intent of your actions. And then we're going to try you with that as our evidence. And we're going to convict you. Because that's what we think you meant. Just accept it. People are opposed to it in so many different ways and yet support it in so many others. We've lost all capacity for logical thought. We've allowed the sickness to take over. The world is sick. Everybody's sick. It doesn't just apply to women. No, it certainly doesn't. We're all sick. You just have to control it. We don't know how anymore. It reminds me of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac fucking strip. I don't know if any of you read Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I read Johnny. I love Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. It's great books. They're very deep. They're very, very deep. They're very good reads. They're very dark, but it's very gruesome, and it's pretty out there. But it's very deep. It gets very deep at points. And there was one bit where he's kind of a crazy person, and he has a rabbit head. Well, no, it was a rabbit that he had nailed to the wall. It's called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Just bear with me. So at one point, the bunny becomes a manifestation, essentially, of hope. Like, the cool thing about this strip is that he's constantly battling with his demons, and they actually, for him at least, become physical manifestations in different ways. And it's actually really interesting to see how the more maniacal aspects of his personality actually kill off all the good ones. It's actually really very interesting book series. But so he's talking to the bunny, Nail Bunny, and he's just going through this really deep introspective moment where he's really contemplating his own happiness, and if he even has the capacity to be happy, and what is the point of life if you can't be happy. And it just goes into this whole thing. And at the end of it, he says, Nail Bunny? Bunny says, yeah. He says, I'm just not happy. Or something like that, or I'm just really depressed. And it was one of those moments where it was like, it was so sad because he actually, through the course of the strip, he digs really deep. And he really tries to figure out, you know, the source of the problem. And every response that the bunny has, it's all very hopeful responses. But he just doesn't buy it. It's just one of those, I just don't buy it. And that's really depression, when it really comes down to it. You sit there and people can tell you all day long, you know, tomorrow's a better day and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other thing. Depression gets you to where it's apathy, you know, and you just don't care. Like, how can you look on the bright side when you really just don't give a shit? And you just don't buy it. It's just because you just sit there and go, yeah, tomorrow's a better day, and tomorrow might be a better day, and tomorrow I might be happy, but you know what? The day after that, I might be fucking depressed again. So, you know, you go through such long spells of depression when you have depression that it's very short spells when you're happy. So they're worth it when they happen, but it's like they happen so infrequently. It's like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's not helpful anymore to point. And to see that go out the way that it did in the comic strip, it was really sad to see him go through so much depth of the thought of it. Really analyze his actions and what they meant, and what he was doing it all for, and why. Go through the whole thing. And then ultimately, at the end of it all, to just fully realize that you're just not happy. Like, dude, that's a good strip, but yeah, I'm totally there, man. I'm just like I'm not depressed. I will move and survive with the world the way the world works. You know? I'm going to still do what I do. I've accepted myself for who I am. And I accept the consequences for my actions, whatever they may be. And no matter what it costs me, no matter what the consequences are, I still do what I do, say what I say, believe what I believe, because I believe that it's correct, and it's right, and it's proper. And whatever happens, happens. But I don't have much hope for me in the future. You know, I don't have much hope for a lot of us in the future. I see Count Dankula's conviction as being precedent setting, because that's what it is. And the precedent that was set is a man can be convicted of a thought crime. That prosecution can say, I think this man is guilty because I think this is what he meant when he did what he did. And to actually get a guilty verdict for that, it's like, oh my God. And that's precedent setting, because people can refer back to that case, because that's what people do. Refer back to, you know, Roe versus Wade. There you go. You refer back to the state versus Mr. Meacham. And he was convicted of a thought crime. They disregarded the context that he even actually put in the video and said, nope, we think this is what you meant. And they're going to fucking penalize him for that. Because of what they thought he meant. That's a scary fucking thought. That is a precedent. I mean, that is a precedent-setting case. I don't think that has happened since we have become enlightened enough to accept free speech as an inalienable right. Fucking shit. And now all this shit with Russia. They're trotting out fucking drones. And... But hey, on the bright side, North Korea wants to talk.